turning to the U.S. state of Wisconsin, where Joe Biden is set to give a televised interview this Friday, an appearance that will be closely scrutinized. The U.S. president is desperately trying to defuse a political crisis sparked by his shaky performance in last week's presidential debate. The 81-year-old is now facing growing pressure from his fellow Democrats to step aside and let Vice President Kamala Harris or some other alternative run in his place to take on Donald Trump in November. For the latest, I'm joined on set by our international affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert.
Yes.
Doug, hello. It's been over a week now since that debate.
Yeah.
These calls, though, are not subsiding.
If anything, they're growing louder. At the same time, the White House, the Biden campaign is pulling out absolutely every stop to try to calm extremely nervous party leaders. We've had at least 3 sitting House lawmakers, Democrats, calling on Biden to drop out of the campaign. Now, we just scrolled down that little graphic you see, and what that is, that's the Atlantic magazine, basically saying with a headline, Biden must resign. And that really sums up where a lot of the thinking still is in this party. You have donors getting not just nervous, but a little rattled and even angry at some times that, in their perception, Biden has not done more to reassure nervous voters after what can only be called a disastrous performance in last week's debate. The White House has been trying to sort of tamp down the concerns, saying, he has good days and bad days. This was a bad night. Biden himself has reiterated that. He's tried to own the fact, yes, I'm old. I wasn't good up there. It's still not enough. There's a lot of noises in the Democratic Party. You've had a big poll come out this week. It was the Times Siena poll, nationwide poll, very, very eagerly awaited, very respected poll. It showed Trump leading by 6 points, 49 to 43% among likely registered voters. And if you just take overall voters, not even likely to vote, but just overall, leading by 9 points. That is why they are running scared. Headlines like that, in not just the Atlantic magazine, the New York Times editorial board, in their own opinion columns, you have across the board, the New Yorker magazine, growing calls, Biden not doing enough. What they're demanding, what the Democrats want to see, is more and more these so-called, quote, off-the-cuff moments. That is unscripted moments where Joe Biden's not relying on a teleprompter. He's not reading it. He is unscripted. He is being natural. He is reacting, basically, in the heat of the moment. That's what they want to see. How does he handle that? Because the concerns are not just whether he can carry this 4-month campaign to turn, take the fight to Donald Trump, but what does he do after that in the 4 years to come? Does he actually have the stamina, the endurance to hold up another 4 years in the White House?
As you said, though, Doug, Biden seems pretty determined to hold on to his candidacy.
Yeah.
How long is the White House going to be able to keep this up?
Coming days are going to be really critical. Now, Joe Biden is said to acknowledge this. He knows that he has to do more. He says, look, I am in it to win it. That's his official statement, right? White House press, communications team basically saying he's clear-eyed and lucid. He's staying in the race. Is he dropping out? Absolutely not, was the response this week from the White House press secretary when asked pointedly by a reporter that question. But at the same time, you said at the top, he is going to Wisconsin. That is not coincidental that he's going to Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. He is going there because it is a key battleground state in this election. It is a state he narrowly won in 2020. It is a state he desperately needs to win now. There's a whole bunch of people who are going to be gathering around top Democratic leaders in that state. He has to give in. It's a rally. He has to speak. He has to look unscripted. He has to look natural. He has to look energetic. He has to look vital. It is a tough call. And as you said, he's also going to be sitting down, recording in Wisconsin that interview with ABC News, which is, yes, it's going to be recorded, but ABC News, I can almost guarantee you, is going to reassure voters that they did not edit it, that they did not touch up this interview, they did not take out his uhs, his pauses, or whatever they may be. They have to show it, and they're going to show it Friday night, primetime in the United States. Watch this space, a lot more to come. Sunday, he'll be in Pennsylvania. Next week, he's hosting a summit of NATO in Washington, D.C.
All right, high pressure for Joe Biden in the coming days. We'll be keeping a close watch. Doug, thank you so much for that. That's our international affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert.